let's begin with a truth most men are never taught, and many struggle to accept. Women do not chase men simply because they are attractive, wealthy, or endlessly agreeable. Those traits may create attention, but they do not create pursuit. What truly draws women in operates on a deeper psychological level: certainty, direction, and emotional presence. In today's world, most men do not lack potential. They lack grounding. They are distracted, reactive, and constantly seeking validation. As a result, they become overlooked, taken for granted, or treated as an option instead of a priority. Not because they are unworthy, but because they blend into a culture of neediness and approval seeking. The men women chase stand out immediately, not because they are loud or flashy, but because they move differently, they think differently, they respond differently, they are calm where others are anxious, they are steady where others are reactive, and most importantly, they are not trying to be chased. These men are not performing, they are not proving their value, they are not convincing anyone of who they are. Their presence alone communicates something solid, rare, and grounded. Women sense this instinctively. It creates emotional gravity, a pull that cannot be explained through words alone. Attraction is not random, desire is not accidental, and a woman choosing to pursue a man is never luck. It is a reaction to specific behaviors, mindsets, and internal discipline that most men never develop. This series will not teach tricks or manipulation. Instead, it will reveal the internal shifts that change how women naturally respond to you, because the goal is not to become the man every woman wants, it is to become the man women don't want to lose. One of the most misunderstood truths about attraction is this: women chase men who do not depend on them for emotional survival. This does not mean being cold, distant, or unavailable. It means being grounded. It means your identity, happiness, and sense of direction exist with or without a romantic connection. Many men are taught that constant availability, endless attention, and emotional overinvestment are signs of commitment. In reality, these behaviors often communicate insecurity. When a man needs a woman to feel whole, validated, or stable, that pressure is felt immediately. It creates imbalance, not closeness. A man who does not need a woman carries himself differently. He has a full life, goals, routines, responsibilities, and purpose that do not disappear the moment attraction enters the picture. He wants connection, but he does not rely on it. This distinction is powerful. Wanting creates choice. Needing creates attachment and fear. Women feel this energy instinctively. Emotional self-sufficiency creates a sense of safety and mystery. She begins to notice that he doesn't panic when she pulls back. He doesn't overreact to delays, mixed signals, or tests. He remains steady because his world is bigger than one person. That steadiness is rare, and rarity creates value. Importantly, not needing a woman does not mean rejecting love or intimacy. It means being okay with or without it. When a man can walk away but chooses to stay, that choice carries weight. It signals self-respect, confidence, and emotional maturity. Men who operate from neediness often feel draining and predictable. Men who operate from self-sufficiency feel balanced, intriguing, and strong. A woman does not want to be the center of your life. She wants to be invited into a life that already has direction. Most men misunderstand confidence. They believe confidence is loud, expressive, and constantly on display. In reality, the kind of confidence women are drawn to is calm, controlled, and often unnoticed at first. It does not seek attention, and it does not require validation. A man who feels the need to impress, brag, or constantly highlight his achievements is not confident. He is seeking reassurance. Women sense this immediately. The need to be admired creates pressure, and pressure weakens attraction. True confidence has no urgency. It exists whether anyone is watching or not. Quiet confidence shows itself through behavior, not performance. It appears in how a man speaks without rushing, how he listens without interrupting, and how he holds his composure under pressure. It is visible in the way he enters a room without scanning for approval, and in how he expresses himself without exaggeration. This type of confidence also shows in emotional steadiness. A quietly confident man is not shaken by moods, delayed responses, or disagreement. He does not chase reassurance or react defensively. He trusts himself enough to stay grounded. That calmness creates emotional safety, and emotional safety is deeply attractive. Another key trait of quiet confidence is self-focus. This man does not compare himself to others. He is not competing for attention or validation. His growth is internal, driven by personal standards rather than external applause. He improves because he values excellence, not because he wants to be seen. In a world full of noise, exaggeration, and performance, quiet confidence feels rare. It signals maturity, strength, and inner peace. Women do not chase it because it impresses them. They chase it because it feels stable, real, and dependable. This is one of the most uncomfortable truths many men avoid. Women are not drawn long term to the most attractive man in the room, but to the man who can control himself. Physical appearance may create initial interest, but emotional control determines whether attraction grows or fades. A man who is emotionally reactive, easily irritated, jealous, overly sensitive, or impulsive quickly becomes draining to be around. His energy feels unstable. Instead of feeling connected to him, a woman begins to feel responsible for managing his emotions. Over time, that responsibility creates distance rather than closeness. Emotional control does not mean suppressing feelings or becoming emotionally unavailable. It means responding rather than reacting. A man with emotional discipline does not panic when things feel uncertain. He does not beg for reassurance, chase attention, or spiral when a woman needs space. He stays calm, clear, and self-respecting. This calmness is magnetic. Women are naturally drawn to emotional stability because it signals safety. A man who remains grounded during tension, disagreement, or silence communicates strength without force. His emotions serve him instead of controlling him, and that self-mastery is far more attractive than physical traits alone. Men with emotional control also move differently. They observe before they respond. They act with intention instead of impulse. They do not rush to prove themselves or seek validation through reaction. This creates emotional depth and presence, qualities that keep a woman engaged long after initial attraction fades. Many men invest heavily in appearance, charm, or status, but neglect emotional strength. Yet it is emotional discipline that separates a man who is briefly noticed from a man who is genuinely pursued. Women do not chase perfection. They chase stability, clarity, and emotional maturity. This is where many men lose their power without realizing it. They say they want respect, yet they tolerate behavior that slowly erodes it. They claim to have standards, but the moment attraction appears, those standards disappear. A lack of boundaries is not kindness, it is insecurity. A boundary is not a rule you enforce on someone else. It is a standard you uphold for yourself. It defines what you accept, what you walk away from, and how you expect to be treated. Without boundaries, a man becomes adaptable in the wrong way. He starts adjusting his values to avoid discomfort or loss, and in doing so, he sacrifices self-respect. When a man bends his boundaries out of fear, attraction weakens, not because a woman wants control, but because she is instinctively assessing strength. Boundaries reveal whether a man can remain grounded when emotions are involved. Each time a boundary is broken, his position becomes less stable. A man with firm boundaries behaves differently. He addresses issues calmly instead of avoiding them. He does not tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or repeated disregard. He understands that walking away from what does not align with his values is not a loss. It is protection of his dignity. The willingness to walk away is one of the most misunderstood forms of strength. Men often believe holding on preserves attraction, when in reality, self-respect is what sustains it. Boundaries create clarity. They show that a man values his time, his energy, and his emotional well-being. When a woman recognizes that a man respects himself enough to stand firm, she responds differently. His presence carries weight. His words matter. His standards are felt. Boundaries do not push women away. Weakness does. Unpredictability is often misunderstood in attraction. Many men assume it means being inconsistent, emotionally distant, or confusing. In reality, those behaviors create anxiety, not desire. The kind of unpredictability that draws women in is controlled, grounded, and rooted in self-awareness. Women lose interest when a man becomes predictable in the wrong way, predictable reactions, predictable conversations, predictable energy. When everything about a man can be anticipated, emotional curiosity fades. Attraction thrives on a balance between comfort and stimulation. A man women chase is consistent in character but flexible in expression. His values remain steady, but his personality has depth and movement. He is reliable without being repetitive, secure without being dull. This balance allows a woman to feel safe while still feeling engaged. Healthy unpredictability comes from authenticity, not strategy. It appears in spontaneous ideas, thoughtful surprises, humor, and creative expression. It means responding with intention rather than habit. Not every conversation follows a script. Not every interaction feels the same. Importantly, this unpredictability never threatens emotional safety. A grounded man does not disappear to create mystery or withhold communication to provoke insecurity. He remains present and clear, while allowing his individuality to keep the dynamic alive. His energy evolves without becoming unstable. This combination of safety and novelty creates emotional momentum. A woman feels that the connection is expanding rather than repeating. She experiences depth rather than routine. Over time, this dynamic builds curiosity and investment. Men often confuse stability with boredom and excitement with chaos. The man who masters both becomes rare. When you are solid but never stagnant, consistent but never dull, you create a presence that naturally invites pursuit rather than demanding it. One of the most common mistakes men make today is giving their attention away without intention. Constant messaging, immediate responses, endless compliments, and emotional availability on demand may feel generous, but over time, they reduce value. What is always available is rarely appreciated. Attention carries weight when it is selective. A man who respects his time and energy does not give unlimited access to everyone. This is not about playing games or acting distant. It is about self-worth. When attention is given intentionally, it communicates confidence without words. A man who overgives attention often does so unconsciously. He may be seeking reassurance, connection, or validation. Unfortunately, this creates imbalance. It signals emotional overinvestment before trust, consistency, or effort has been established. That imbalance quietly weakens attraction. In contrast, a man who protects his attention feels different. He notices effort. He responds to consistency. He does not reward mixed signals or disregard. His presence is felt because it is not constant. His attention feels meaningful because it is chosen, not automatic. This does not mean ignoring communication or withholding care. It means aligning attention with standards. When interest is mutual, attention flows naturally. When effort is one-sided, attention recedes. This creates clarity instead of confusion. Women are drawn to men whose attention feels earned. It signals emotional discipline, self-respect, and purpose. It shows that a man's life does not revolve around external validation. His focus is directed, not scattered. When attention is backed by standards, it becomes powerful. It builds curiosity, respect, and investment. Women do not chase men who are available to everyone. They chase men whose energy feels rare, intentional, and worth engaging with. This is a truth many men resist, yet it shapes attraction more than anything else. Women are drawn to men with purpose, not men whose lives revolve around romance. Attention, gestures, and words may spark interest, but direction sustains desire. A man who lives with purpose carries a different energy. His focus is not on being chosen or approved. It is on building something meaningful, a career, a craft, a vision, or a personal mission. That commitment creates momentum, and momentum is attractive. Women feel it long before it is explained. When a man prioritizes romance over purpose, his world begins to shrink. His time, energy, and emotional state become centered on a woman's reactions. This imbalance is sensed quickly. Instead of feeling chosen, a woman feels responsible for his fulfillment, and attraction fades under that weight. Purpose communicates self-respect. It shows that a man values his time, his growth, and his future. His happiness does not depend on constant validation. He chooses connection rather than needing it. That independence creates natural scarcity, not as a tactic, but as a reflection of value. A purpose driven man is also less tolerant of drama, inconsistency, or emotional games. His energy is directed, and distractions lose their appeal. This clarity makes him grounded and decisive, qualities that invite respect and pursuit. Romance still matters, but it is a complement, not a foundation. When a man's life has direction, relationships enhance it rather than define it. Women are drawn to men they can walk beside, not men they must lead or stabilize. Purpose always comes first. When it does, attraction becomes effortless. Women stop needing to be chased. They become naturally curious about the life you are building and the role they may choose to play within it.